Welcome to Classic Car Cave. Okay, so we're working on the Mini. This is pre Red Bull ring. So I put this Cobra seats. I think you might remember later or much further back we had two of them, but obviously they have to be completely anchored, and obviously this one can hinge on the back and it's adjustable, which you're not allowed. So I've put it back in because a friend of mine here, Patrick from America, him and his family are going to, or his daughter are going to come up, and I can take them out for a run in it and they can see what it's like. Yeah, so we're going to PS Racing tomorrow. Hopefully, I've called them and left a message, so hopefully there's going to be no problems. And then we'll take it out and give it a test. So we'll go and get it sorted out and load it on the trailer. So there's the new Nankings on it now. I've spanned it from front to back. I only found 3 slightly loose nuts. 2 were on the exhaust, and there was an Allen key on the rear anti-roll bar that come a bit loose, so I've done that now. But everything else was tight, so that's good. So I'll show you when we put it on the trailer. Okay, so I had a little bit of problem trying to get this on the trailer. It didn't seem to be any power in it. It seemed like electrical, but also it was farting and spluttering. The problem is I haven't run it for about 8 or 10 months, and an engine like this, which is high tuned and high race, it needs to be run or this soot up really quickly, and probably needs a good blowout, and the valves, you know, running over at high speed to get them cleaned out, the valve seats and whatever. But I've just redone all the settings. The inlets are 12 and the exhausts are 14. I've just done them all, and obviously rule of 9 usual with the BMC, with the A series, and I've marked each one as I've done it, because otherwise you can get in a bit of a mess. So I'll put the rocker cover on and we'll see how we go. So I've gone down to the local car shop and got myself another 10-amp fuse there. That should go in there. So that's them all in. We're done with the cover. So that's that. I bought a few packets of them. Got a fully charged battery now. These are great, these C-Tecs. They're really good. And what they'll do is they won't overcharge your battery, they'll just trickle it as it comes down. I've got to change this. This is a bit iffy. There's something that's not right about it, so I'm going to have to take that out. Got myself a new one. So I'll put that in. There's a dodgy connection now, and I don't want it turning off when we're on the circuit at Red Bull. So I've got those. There's the new Hella kill switch. Okay, I'll have it one hand. Probably can't. There we go. There's a new kill switch for that. And I've got some engine oil. Now I'm running this on Paul Jeffries, JPE. They built the engine in the box for me. He recommends using this, and I have been using it. It's been pretty good. It's for 4-stroke motorcycles, but because of the high compression and the RPM that it's doing, it's a 2050, which is what goes in the Minis anyway. But he recommends this Castrol Power 1 because it's just a better oil, better protection. So I'll put that in. I'm now going to do another compression test and see what the difference is since I've regapped the valves, or the valve clearances. But the problem with these is with the roller rockers, they've got to be done with a very thin or a narrow gauge, because the problem is, I think I've got it here, if you've got anything kind of fatter than that, only that tip will go under the roller rocker, or otherwise you hit the aluminium on either side. So it's really important that you're just catching the roller as you go in and out. Just doing a compression check now. You can see that one sitting at about 165. Sorry, it's only 190, 180, 175, 180, which is about where they should be. And this one's come right up now, but it's still only up about 155, 160. But I suspect there's quite a bit of soot and dust in the in the valve seat, because the plugs are terribly failed up. I think because it's been sat for 10 months, what I need to do now is I'll take out these jets, because I think especially with the E5 in it, the ethanol, it tends to gum these things up. So I'm going to take these jets out now and clean them. I think the tubes, emulsified tubes and jets are going to be manky, so I'll give them a clean up. It seems to be not getting a lot of fuel through to it. Then I'll bung the plugs back in and hopefully she'll run. Taking these jets and these emulsion tubes out the side. This is a 3-piece, and then the jet. So I've cleaned them out. It didn't seem any crack come out of them, but it might be minuscule. Anyway, I've given them a clean. They've not been out before since it was put on and brand new. We'll see how it goes. You definitely see here on this jetting port that you see how it's gone kind of like a, I'll bring it up maybe a bit more. You see how it's gone like a dull, it should be like that there. It's gone that kind of dull colour, so that could be that E5, that ethanol that's in there. And again, this is a bit stinged as well. I mean, there's going to be wear on them, but you can see the difference between the top of the body and the bottom there. So I've given them both a clean out, and I'll give them a clean up now, and hopefully that'll do the business. Okay, so that's them all cleaned out and retightened back down. And I'll just put this butterfly clamp back on. And hopefully this will solve some of the fueling problems. This, when we tested this engine on a rolling road, not in this car, it was in Paul's car, and his Miglia lookalike. We transparent, when the engine was finished and the box was finished, we put it into his car, or he put it into his car, and we tested it. And then when I got there after the rolling road, we took it out and put it in my van. And he changed it at least, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, different jets, different emulsion tubes and so on, until we got it right on the money. And that's where we got the 113 brake horse out of it, and 112 foot-pounds of torque, 112.07. So it's almost 1 for 1, which is quite amazing for a 1310cc engine, A-series. So I'll put the plugs in now, and hopefully she'll kick. Oh, I hope so. So I'm going to have to change this emergency cut-off. You can see it's not flicking properly. It's not right, and it needs a cable on it anyway. But the problem is I've got to take this off inside here to get to it, because it's right under the scuttle. No. Did I put it through that way? No, I think it's under the scuttle, so I have to take the front off. Shit. That's annoying. But if I turn this, you can see, there you go, power's come on. See, it's gone out on its own. And that's because of this switch. I actually think, shit, it's right under the scuttle. It's in the corner of the scuttle. Damn. So I've got to take the front off. Bollocks! It's got to be done. It's just, I can feel it. There's just nothing in it. There's no positive click in it when you compare it to that one. If I can, it's hard to do this with one hand. You can hear it click. Oh. There you go. But you can hear it. You can hear it's a positive click when it springs down. Anyway, bollocks. So I've got to take the whole front off to get to that. It's right underneath here. Jesus. Oh, these things are sent to annoy you, but there we go. We'll sort it. After a lot of struggle, I got the old one, the old master switch out, and I put the new one back in. Luckily, I haven't had to take off the front so far. I'll just see how I get on with the connections now, but I've got it in. I've got the actual switch in place there, and I'll show you how tight it is up there. You can maybe see, I don't know, that's not showing because I'm looking at the backlight, but you can see how tight it is under that corner. If I'd have thought about that, I'd put it somewhere else. Anyway, I'll give it a shot and see how we get on. So, sorry I look like shit, but yesterday I was working on the Mini in the workshop, and I managed to just take the wheel off to get to this isolation switch, but because I had to put my hand up inside and try and catch the bolts on the top, and it's in quite an awkward position, and I was kind of leaning and stretching, I ended up crooking my back, and it's an injury I've had for a while, and it got worse after going to the UK, obviously driving 5,000 k's. And the pain was unbelievable, so severe. Yeah, I ended up lying on the floor in the living room for 2 hours yesterday just to try and get some relief. Honestly, the pain was incredible. Anyway, I'm a little bit better today, but I still can't move around. I certainly can't get to this inside the wheel arch. I can't even drive. So fortunately a friend of mine's going to come over tomorrow and help me get that connection back together. And I've booked for next Wednesday next week, and hopefully by then I should be better. If it's no better tomorrow, I'm going to go down and get some injections, some cortisone or something, because the pain is quite incredible. Nothing like it was when it first happened, when I overstretched. So I thought I'd put this video up now because there won't be one for. I have some footage of what I'm doing with the XK. I might put that up in a couple of days because I can sit here. I'm still in my pyjamas, and but the pain is absolutely excruciating. God. So I'm sorry this is. I'm not going to be able to do any more on this, but I will show you the rest of it, and hopefully we will get a test next Wednesday. It's now Wednesday. It's the 13th, so it'll be Wednesday, whatever that is. So as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and just be careful you don't lift anything or overstretch. I mean, I wasn't even lifting anything. I was just putting a spanner up, but I can hardly lift my arm now. Anyway, take care. Be careful out there. Bye for now.